Once upon a time, in a lush and vibrant corner of Africa, hidden away from the bustling world, lied a mythical garden known as the Seed of Paradise. This enchanting haven was surrounded by dense jungles, majestic waterfalls, and teeming wildlife. At its heart, a river named the River of Life flowed, bringing abundance and vitality to the land. In this African Eden, we meet Kaya and Jelani, a couple blessed with the responsibility of tending to the garden and its diverse species of animals and plants. They were the guardians chosen by the ancient gods to preserve the delicate balance of this paradise. Sometimes the gods would walk through the gardens to de-stress from their stressful days as deities. Kaya and Jelani would fall to the garden floor while they passed, as these beings were awe-inspiring. One day, as Kaya was walking through the garden, she heard the most beautiful music. "Are the gods here?" she thought. They usually announced their presence. Kaya decided to investigate, and as she got close, she saw the most beautiful man she had ever seen. "Hello, can I help you?" she asked. "Well, hello to you," the man said with a devilishly seductive voice. "If you are looking for the gods, they are not here," she said. "The gods?" he laughed. "I am actually here to see you," he said. "Rumors say you are beautiful, and I had to come and see for myself." Kaya blushed. "I will go and look for my husband Jelani to let him know we have a guest," she said, looking around with sweat dripping from her forehead. "There is no need," he said, whispering in her ear. Kaya looked at him, panicked. How did he get so near so fast? "You can call me Morning Star if you so wish," he said. "I will come and visit tomorrow. You can tell your husband if you like," Morning Star whispered, his voice a seductive melody, licking her ear with a teasing sensation. Kaya's heart raced as she felt the warmth of his breath against her skin. "Why are you here?" Kaya finally managed to ask, her voice trembling. "Curiosity, my dear. Curiosity about the beauty that resides in this earthly paradise," Morning Star replied, his eyes gleaming with an otherworldly allure. "And perhaps a desire to offer you something more than the routine existence you share with your husband. Would you like to receive some forbidden knowledge?" he asked. "Think about it, lovely Kaya. Tomorrow I'll return," he promised, his voice carrying a hypnotic quality. With those words, he gave her a lingering gaze before vanishing into the air, leaving only the echo of his flapping wings. You are watching The Tales of the Savannah. Subscribe and be part of the tribe. Now let's get back to the story. As Kaya met up with Jelani later on that day, Jelani, a sturdy and gentle soul, greeted Kaya with a wide smile. "You won't believe the wonders I witnessed today," he exclaimed, his eyes reflecting the joy of his encounters. Jelani began sharing tales of the day. "I helped an elephant give birth near the River of Life, and later I came across an antelope stuck in a crevice. It took some effort, but I managed to free it," he recounted, his enthusiasm evident in every word. "Kaya, are you even listening to me?" Jelani asked playfully, noticing her distant demeanor. "Yes, I am," Kaya replied, her voice lacking its usual vibrancy. "The elephant gave birth and the antelope got unstuck. I'm listening," she said, avoiding Jelani's eyes. Kaya was usually the one enthusiastic about sharing stories of her day in the garden. "Is everything okay?" he asked, with concern. Kaya forced a smile, attempting to reassure him. "Just a bit tired, that's all. The usual tasks in the garden kept me occupied." "All right, enough about my day. How was yours?" he asked, hoping to shift the focus. "Just the usual," Kaya lied, her mind still reeling from the encounter with Morning Star. She couldn't shake the memory of his seductive presence, his whispered promises lingering like a haunting melody in her thoughts. As the couple watched the sun set, Kaya bit her lips and wondered what secrets Morning Star held. The next day couldn't come fast enough for Kaya. She was consumed by anticipation to see Morning Star again. His presence had overshadowed her thoughts, leaving her unable to focus on anything else. As she made her way to the secluded part of the garden where they had first met, the familiar sound reached her ears, causing her heart to race with excitement. She had never experienced such feelings before. Emerging into the clearing, Kaya's breath caught in her throat at the sight of Morning Star. He stood there, a vision of perfection, and greeted her gently. "Kaya, so kind of you to join me. It's a shame Jelani couldn't make it," he said, teasing her. "You are late, but I'll let you make it up to me later," he added with a tone that sent shivers down her spine. "Come and sit on my lap. I will teach you how to play this instrument," he suggested. Without hesitation, Kaya obeyed his command to sit on his lap, feeling like a puppet under his spell. Confusion clouded her mind as she questioned her own behavior around this mysterious man. "You put your hand on this string," Morningstar instructed her in a whisper, "and then you pull gently." Following his guidance, Kaya produced a sweet sound from the instrument. As she leaned back into Morningstar's embrace, a surge of realization snapped her out of the trance. She quickly stood up, embarrassed by her own vulnerability. Morningstar chuckled at her reaction. Embarrassed by this mockery, Kaya gathered herself and asked, "You said you had a secret you wanted to share. Please share it, or else I will go, never to be seen again by the likes of you." Morningstar studied her with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. "The secret is knowing good and evil," he hissed. "It's not something I can simply tell you. I can show you better." "I know the meaning of good and evil," Kaya snapped back defensively. Morningstar laughed dismissively. "The gods have lied to you. They haven't told you everything. Have you ever wondered why all the animals multiply, yet it's just the two of you humans in this vast and beautiful garden?" he questioned. Kaya pondered his words, recalling Jelani's recent encounter with the elephant giving birth. There was truth in what Morningstar was saying, but she struggled to comprehend its significance. "What does that mean? I don't understand," she admitted, her confusion growing. "Did you know," Morningstar began, his gaze piercing, "that you can reproduce after your own kind, like the animals do?" Kaya froze. "But how?" she asked, confused, her voice barely a whisper. "As I said before, I can show you better than I can tell you," Morningstar replied, licking his lips suggestively. Kaya's mind raced with conflicting emotions. The gods had kept secrets from them, and Morningstar offered forbidden knowledge. Yet the intensity in his eyes and the dark undertone in his voice gave her pause. Perhaps some things were meant to remain unexplored. "Whenever you're ready, call upon the morning star, and I will be right here to show you the secret," he said, his voice a seductive whisper. As Kaya turned to leave, her mind weighed with uncertainty. She couldn't shake the feeling that she stood at the crossroads of destiny, torn between the allure of forbidden knowledge and the safety of ignorance. With each step back to Jelani, she wondered what the future held for them in this paradise garden. "Jelani, have you ever wondered why we do not reproduce after our own kind like the animals do?" Kaya asked one evening, her curiosity spilling over. "After our own kind?" Jelani laughed. "You don't speak like that. Who have you been speaking to?" "Jelani, I'm serious. Have you never wondered?" "No," came the simple reply. "Why would we want to, anyway? We haven't been asked to do so by the gods." "Where is all this coming from?" Jelani asked. "I was just thinking," Kaya said, not wanting to divulge her source. And so the days went by. Kaya's mind swirled with questions, and she felt a growing need to uncover the secret that Morningstar had hinted at. She observed the gods strolling through the garden, their presence a constant reminder of the knowledge that eluded her. "How can they keep a secret from us at all?" she thought, a growing rage bubbling within her with every passing day. One night, unable to sleep a wink, Kaya knew she had to call upon Morningstar. Before the first light of dawn painted the sky, she woke up and went outside. The morning was at its darkest, and she whispered, "Morningstar, I am ready to know the secret." "You made the right choice," he whispered from behind her. His sudden appearance startled her. "He needs to stop doing that," she thought. "How does this work?" she asked, ready to see. Morningstar held his hand out and motioned for her to follow. "All you need to do is follow my lead," he said. And so deep into the garden they went, disappearing into the cover of darkness as the world slept. The unfolding mysteries of new life and the delicate balance of Eden awaited their next chapter. As Kaya gathered her clothes, Morningstar was long gone, but a triumphant smile graced her face. She couldn't wait to share this newfound knowledge with Jelani. When she revealed the secret to him, Jelani's excitement knew no bounds. Soon Kaya's belly visibly bulged, carrying the fruit of their union. However, the gods, who had not anticipated the creation of new life in their serene garden, were far from amused. Filled with fury, they confronted Jelani, demanding an explanation for the unexpected turn of events. "What is the meaning of this, Jelani?" they asked furiously. "It is the wife you gave me, my lord," Jelani pleaded, his voice desperate. The gods had originally intended the garden to be a sanctuary for their relaxation, not a place for the proliferation of human life. This was not part of their divine plan. Their decision was swift and decisive: banishment. As Kaya and Jelani left the sanctuary of the garden, Morning Star, hidden in the shadows, smiled with satisfaction. He had made a bet with other angels, challenging that he could disrupt the beloved garden of the gods, and he had won. "Here you go." 30 angels begrudgingly handed him 1 piece of silver each, acknowledging his victory. With 30 pieces of silver in his hands, Morning Star smiled, ready to embark on yet another mischievous bet, casting his devious influence on the destinies of those within and beyond the enchanting Eden. And that, my dear tribe members, is the story of Morning Star, the cunning fallen angel and the keepers of the garden. This story is inspired by the captivating tale of Adam and Eve from the Bible. If you want me to cover any other story from this amazing book, let me know. And as always, thank you for watching our story, and we hope you enjoyed it. What lessons did you draw from this story? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and be part of the tribe. Thank you for watching The Tales of the Savannah. We will see you next time in the Savannah.